The future of Arsenal Football Club looks really exciting. Let's just get the record straight. It's been a disappointing couple of years not getting any trophies, but I feel as though the intent is there this window, and it gives us that sort of confidence that we can be a really, really good outfit going into next season. So we'll be looking into the main culprits, Rodrygo and Sesko, and how those two together would work, looking at the news that has come out and just clearing the air on the whole situation. But before I begin, if you are new here, please hit the like and the subscribe as well. It'd be greatly appreciated. But let's just get straight into the news. And today, Fabrizio Romano came on to say Arsenal are now advancing in negotiations for Sesko after initial concrete talks reported last week. Discussions underway and proceeding well between all parties involved, players and clubs. So that's a massive boost. It goes to show that Sesko is the unanimous first choice. I think we've known for a couple of days now, but there was a little bit of murmurings about would Arsenal really be going with intent? Is Gyökeres still on the periphery as a target? But I feel like now Arsenal fans, whatever hope you have for Gyökeres, sweep it away. Sesko is the number one target and we're really pushing forward for him. And the interesting thing is the price doesn't seem to be bad whatsoever. There's a lot of fear it's going to be 94 million. No, it seems as though this one could be around 59 to 60 million. That would be really good. Of course, Arsenal aren't under any pressure to complete the deal immediately. We have no Club World Cup. We've got a lot of time till pre-season starts. So we can probably try and get the best financial package sort of possible, and that's what good clubs do. They see their targets and they try and see if they can get them for a lower price, knowing that they will get them no matter what. And I think that's what Arsenal are going to do. And also, this report coming out by Ryan Taylor, a very good source, gives us more confidence on Sesko, because he says RB Leipzig have asked the Slovenian Football Association to omit Benjamin Sesko from their upcoming international friendly because it may hinder him and his potential transfer to Arsenal. So there you have it. This one seems to be moving quite quicker than even the media know if these decisions are being made. And while Benjamin Sesko coming to Arsenal is fantastic. But let's get on to the Rodrygo news. Then we'll get into the analysis, guys, with the clips. And of course, Arsenal really like and appreciate Rodrygo. We obviously had the report from Hand of Ozil come out the other day, but Fabrizio Romano confirming Arsenal really love Rodrygo. He's a top winger this summer that's available potentially, but he obviously needs to make that decision if he really wants to go. Hand of Ozil, of course, said Arsenal have made Rodrygo their number one target this summer. Then later on in the day, a report came out from the same sort of journalist, Roger 10, who works with Hand of Ozil, that Rodrygo is now likely to leave Real Madrid this summer. The club will demand at least 80 million fixed, and a final sale will probably be around 100 million. So that seems to be around 70, rising to around 85, 90. That's okay for the quality of Rodrygo. Obviously, you want to try and get the best financial deal possible, but this is a top player who certainly elevates us. But let's now get into the clips of how Sesko and Rodrygo would combine. And I just want to show you this. This is what I'm going to love about this potential deal. I would prefer Rodrygo centrally, but we'll get onto that more later. But the rotations and combinations off the left is just unreal. Look at this. This is Nusa into Sesko. This goal could happen quite a lot for Arsenal Football Club. Rodrygo darting inside, Sesko receiving on the turn and scoring. Just look at the intent. Rodrygo can certainly do a dribble like that inside the pitch, and Sesko is so good on his feet. I feel like that's such an underrated aspect of Sesko. Once he has that ball under control, he has the quality to make the right decision, whether to pass or to shoot. There is no doubt this guy, for his size, the technical ability he has, is the top 1% of centre forwards in the world, or even in the history of the sport. I know that's crazy, but for his size, to be able to manipulate the ball in the way he does is unreal. And seeing this sort of sequence happen with Leipzig players where he's not even being maximized is exciting. Let's just look at it again. The dart inside, Rodrygo 100% can do something like that off the left. But look, he's not on the touchline there, Nusa. That's where we need Rodrygo to be as well. Not on the touchline, but as inside the pitch as possible, so he can make these impacts in the final third and combine almost like a second striker. That's the best position of Rodrygo. Here is another example, Sesko linking with Olmo. This can happen with Rodrygo. You just need to play Rodrygo as close to the centre forward as possible, using Sesko as a bounce. And, you know, one thing about Rodrygo is his quality in his final ball is exceptional. Yes, he plays on the wing, but his decision making, his weight of pass is really good. If Rodrygo is facing the goal in a position like this, you're dead as an opposition. And just thinking about the way him and Sesko could combine is quite literally scary. Just don't get Rodrygo to hog the touchline, because that's not where you're going to see the best of him. He obviously is a far better dribbler than Martinelli. He'll get a couple more goal contributions, but he's a Ferrari. You want the Ferrari, to be going at the fastest speed possible. And to get Rodrygo going at the fastest speed possible, you get him off that left and inside the pitch as much as possible. And this is why I'm so for this sort of setup. We'll talk about a different setup as well, where De Kruijper comes in. I've talked about De Kruijper for so long. One of the best attacking young fullbacks in world football. I genuinely think that. His creative stats, his ability in the final ball, he's so comfortable holding the wide areas because he's played left wing back, he's played left mid. And this would allow Rodrygo to play as inside the pitch as possible. I think the most exciting thing about Rodrygo is the dynamics of Arsenal's attack could change drastically, and it will help us to really break down the opposition. How many games this season when Tierney came on and he was the guy holding the width and a player could play more centrally off the left, did Arsenal look really dangerous? You would get that with a De Kruijper. And you're thinking about Zinchenko leaving, Arsenal need a left back. The right profile would be De Kruijper. Let Rodrygo work his magic centrally off of a big man like Sesko, Havertz as well, it would work, and you've got magic. You've quite literally got magic. And whenever I talk about Rodrygo in the second striker position, and people are not going to like what I'm about to say, I think he can really do the Ødegaard role much better than Ødegaard. I really think in that right centre mid role, in the right hand side of the pitch, in the 8 role next to Saka and White, he could be something ridiculous. And I just want to show you guys this sequence. Whenever I try and push Rodrygo in the 8 role, I just look at this. Follow Rodrygo. He's the one that made the first pass, and he's going to be the one to make the last pass to Mbappe here. Against Manchester City, by the way, this is no scrubs. Look at how he moved from the sort of this area of the pitch. Look. Knocks it off to Valverde. That could be Ben White. This will be Saka receiving it. Saka playing it out to Sesko or Havertz making that run. Then it's Rodrygo here. And someone like Martinelli, Trossard, Nico Williams, if you want to be greedy, he could be the one finishing that move off. Just watch it again. This is how you know Rodrygo can certainly play the 8 role. Deep position like Ødegaard, he can do it. But look at the desire, the pace, the energy, the decision making, the comfortability on both feet. This is what Rodrygo would give you from more central positions, Gunners. I'm telling you right now, that sequence, you just put Arsenal players in place of Real Madrid players and you can see the magic Rodrygo can produce for Arsenal. It's sneaky. It's perhaps rude to Ødegaard because Ødegaard is not his problem. He's just not that sort of player who can force a game like Rodrygo just did there. But this is what I could see. This is what I could see because I don't feel like we're going to sign another winger, and I feel like obviously Rodrygo will be the winger. Hopefully we get that sort of holding width left back. But I could see Nelly or Trossard on the wing, Sesko, Saka, Rodrygo, White, Rodrygo, Saka against low blocks. Oh, Lord. Zubimendi had a fantastic performance against Spain. I think people finally saw why Arteta is so for this guy. Rice can still play in that 8 role where he's performed well with goal contributions. Miles Lewis-Skelly can still invert. Then you've got Gabriel, Saliba and White as the back 3 as well. This team kills anyone. Everton, you want to come and sit back at the Emirates? Goodbye. Nottingham Forest away? Goodbye, because Rodrygo is so good facing the game and he's got ball striking ability better than Ødegaard, short backlift, all of the qualities Rodrygo would sort of give to Arsenal in this position. He'd get 10 goals, 10 assists easily minimum every season in a position and role like this. And here it is. I mean, when you're just looking at the talent anyway, if Rodrygo's to play off the left in the second striker 8 role, it's exciting. Having 3 players like this in your team, it elevates you no matter what. Don't forget Havertz, by the way, because I still think he'll be the starting striker till like January, February time, unless Sesko comes and hit the ground running, which he has the ability to do so. But that as a front 3 or as players you can have on the pitch, it's scary. It's scary. And I just want to end off talking about Kepa because there's interest. I'm a big fan of this deal. 5 million back up. I know it's not Joan Garcia and it's disappointing that we didn't get it done last summer, but Kepa's really good. He'll be good enough to play that backup role to Raya. He's happy to do it for 5 million. He's going to be on less money than he was at Chelsea. He's happy to take a pay cut. I see no problem with this. Spanish 2, goalkeeper union. It would be a nice deal to sort of do. But yeah, let me know, Gunners. A summer like this for me would be perfect. I still think maybe a centre back up to Saliba, but let's not get too greedy, sorry. But what's your thoughts on this? I generally think this would be absolutely unreal. But anyway, Gunners, that's it for now. Let me know your thoughts on everything discussed in this video. And until next time, peace.